The doll blinked the moment I lifted it from the box. I dropped it, and the floor trembled as if the house exhaled in relief. I had inherited the house after my Aunt Mara died alone. The lawyer said there was only one item of note in the will: a porcelain doll wrapped in black cloth and sealed in a wooden crate. I didn't believe in curses. I believed in dust and grief and old stories grown sharp with time. The house stood at the edge of town, its windows like blind eyes. When I carried the crate inside, the air turned cold and damp. The walls creaked with a slow rhythm, like breathing. I placed the crate on the kitchen table and waited. Nothing happened. The quiet stretched until it pressed against my ears. I opened the crate. The doll lay inside, with pale porcelain skin and glass eyes, the color of storm clouds. Its mouth was slightly open, as if caught mid-word. Black hair fell in perfect curls. It wore a faded dress, stitched by careful hands. A tag hung from its wrist with my name written in ink that looked wet. I told myself it was a joke from a bitter relative. I picked up the doll and felt a strange warmth under the porcelain, a faint pulse. I laughed, a little too loudly, and set it on a chair facing the hall. That night, I dreamed of small footsteps pacing the halls. Wood creaked, fabric whispered. I woke to the sound of breathing beside my bed. When I turned on the lamp, the room was empty. The doll sat on the dresser, watching me, its head tilted slightly to the side. I moved it back to the chair and locked my door. Sleep came in shallow waves. Each time I drifted off, I heard a soft voice calling my name from inside the walls. The voice sounded like a child learning how to speak. In the morning, the house smelled of old flowers and damp earth. Muddy footprints, small and bare, marked the floor from the hall to my bedroom. The doll waited on my bed, its dress neatly smoothed. The tag was gone. I packed the doll into a bag and drove to town. The antique shop owner went pale when he saw it. He refused to even touch it. He said the doll was known. It belonged to a line of caretakers. Each owner was chosen. Each owner failed. He told me the doll fed on attention and fear. It learned voices. It learned faces. When ignored, it grew restless. When loved, it grew attached. When abandoned, it punished. I left the shop with the doll still in the bag. On the drive back, the radio whispered between stations, and a child's laugh echoed from the back seat. I stopped the car and opened the bag. The doll stared up at me, its mouth wider now. "Okay." Back at the house, the sky darkened early. "Okay." Tried to burn the doll in the fireplace. The flames bent away as if they were afraid. Smoke filled the room with the smell of hair and sweet rot. The doll did not burn. It cried. The sound scraped my nerves raw. I threw it into the cellar and bolted the door. The house shook. Its pictures fell. The walls groaned in pain. A pounding rose from below. Slow at first, then frantic. The pounding became words. "Let me out." The power failed. Darkness swallowed the rooms. Felt my way to the stairs as the cellar door rattled. Suddenly, the pounding stopped. Silence pressed close. A small hand wrapped around my ankle. Fell, striking my head. When I opened my eyes, I was at the bottom of the stairs. The cellar door stood open. The doll stood at my feet. Its porcelain skin was cracked now, something dark moving beneath the surface. It spoke with my aunt's voice. It thanked me for coming home. It said the house was hungry. It said the doll was only a mouth. The walls split open and faces pushed through, pale and stretched and familiar. I saw my aunt among them. Eyes were empty wells. She smiled without warmth and told me she had tried to leave, but the doll would not allow it. The house tightened around us. The ceiling lowered. The floor buckled. The doll climbed onto my chest and pressed its cracked face close to mine. I felt cold breath and the weight of years. Whispered that it needed a keeper. It needed a heart. I screamed, and the sound fed the walls. The faces drank it in. The doll sank into my chest like a key turning in a lock. Pain bloomed, then faded. Warmth spread, and a strange calm followed. Morning light filled the house. The damage was gone. The walls were smooth. The air was still. I stood in the hall, holding a porcelain doll with storm gray eyes. My hands were steady. Okay, my heart beat slow and deep, like the house itself. A knock sounded at the door. A delivery man stood outside with a clipboard. He said there was a crate addressed to the house. He asked if I was the new owner. I smiled and invited him in. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more.